10 minutes. Okay, so we're trying to say if we are developing our software that we can use after we've gotten the membered code, we can paste the membered code in draw.io, right? You open draw.io. Once it loads, you tap on this advanced membered code, you paste the membered code, you're going to have the kind of a flow for it. Then, or you use membered.live, you paste your code, you're still going to have the same thing, any of them. So once you have this flow, your clients will be able to have an understanding of what you're doing, and for you, you're able to have a good understanding of what your job is like. The next thing I said you're going to do is that you want to know how many screens you are going to be developing. So that's what I said in the previous class. So in the continuation of this class, so somebody have done one and submitted, so which I'm trying to evaluate now. So you have something like saying, okay, how many web page UI will we have for this application? So it's going to suggest to you how many of those pages you're going to have. So if you're a designer, a UI designer, you should know how many screens you're going to create. If you're a developer, you're going to know how many pages you are going to be developing. So you see now, I also asked the question that I want to revise screens and the SRS and the membered code. So few things. You need the SRS, you need the membered code for the SRS, you need the flow diagrams or UML, then you need the what? The screens. The UI content. Right? So after that, the next thing is now for the designers, they will use Figma or any tool to now create the UI. For the developer, we're learning LAMP stack. So we can now use PHP or Python or whatever and now code these screens. So for the UI UX designers, before you do what you're going to do, you're going to create what? Wireframes. So wireframes are just like sketches. Homepage, restaurant branding and introduction, navigation, home, menu, offer, contact. So I have something like this. Home, menu, offers, contact, right? Maybe a slider here. Then promotionals, some additional features, then footer. Copyright 2024. So this is for home. This is one screen. For the menu page, what do you have there? For the menu categories, you have starters, main courses, data. So it's already giving you an idea about what you're going to have there. Then you sort filter like that, detailed. So everybody take notes. You have one SRS, membered code, flow diagram, 4, then 5. So the fifth one is going to be the designs or the LAMP stack. So this week, by the end of this week, all the designers attending this training, you should have finished your UI for your words, for your software. All the full stack developers, you should have finished learning basic PHP and MySQL. So next week, what we're going to now do is that we're not going to be fine-tuning the UI, right? Then we're not going to be coding the software. So there must be a link between this and this. Right? Okay. So this is an example of what somebody have done. So let me just explain. So when you say I need the screens, the SRS and the method code. So the guy have redone everything, right? So you have everything. Then the what's it called? The revised method code, and of course, so for this one, for instance, we have the patient's role for a medical laboratory, a login screen. Please enter credentials to log in. Username and password, right? Registration screens, patients create an account. So I can copy this even on ChatGPT and say, okay, I want to know the content of each of these screens. So I say, okay, I have the below. Okay, this is yours. So let me not do that one. Let me continue with what I have already. I have what's it called? A restaurant management system. Okay, so I want to have detailed. I want to have detailed content of each of the screens, so it can so the UI UX designs can be done, right? So I'm pushing for that because I want the content to be very, very detailed, so that when I'm creating the software, it's very easy. When I'm creating the UI design, it's very straightforward. So it has done that. I see that login. For the login page, it has told me, okay, I need to have username, password, whatever. For all the different screens, for the 30 screens or so that I have. Good. So this gives us a very clear picture of what each screen should include, helping the UI designers to create wireframes and prototype, ensure that these screens are designed with usability and accessibility in mind. If we need to recap, if we need to look at it, we'll see some very, very nice stuff it has done for us. Now, for instance, for the header, we should have a what? A restaurant logo, a research. You can look at these things and look at other stuff to like know what you're going to have finally. For the main content, you should have a hero section. A hero section is like your slider. An introduction, a highlight, then you should have a footer. For the menu page, for the main content page, for the footer, for the items page, that is for each item. If I open, let's say shawarma, what am I going to have by the right side, by the main content, by the header, by the footer? So it has broken down everything for us. High resolution image of the item, right? Detailed item description, nutritional information, customization option, the size, the toppings, right? So this now is for the UI designer to go and do his or her job. But you can make this easier by, you could say, you could go on Behance restaurant templates. That's for somebody that's going to do UI UX. So you want to have some kind of idea, restaurant web app. So this will give you an idea about what you're going to be creating, because you're going to create your own designs from scratch. Yes, you can take ChatGPT to actually give you what the wireframe looks like, right? But you want to have, let's say, this is just landing page. So we're not creating mobile app, we're creating web apps. So we can use, there are so many suggestions. Let's just pick this one on top, this one, right? So you can use this. So this is just a restaurant. You can also go to Figma Showcase and pick from Figma templates. You could pick from Behance, or you could pick from several other sites where you have some of these templates. So it gives you a very robust, either you're picking a template and editing, or you're creating everything yourself from scratch.
Do you mean like the form, like where the header will be?
No, template as in the look and feel of how your own site, keeping into mind, into consideration your own stuff that has been approved by your client. Right? So if you're creating your design now, your design should look something as sweet as this. So this gives you a very good idea, right? You could save these, you could import it into your Figma, you could make changes, you could pick, right?
This one not fine.
Aha,
Too
good.
complicated. Looks too many.
So for me, I like it, right? So you could have one or two, three choice for your client then. So this is for like but before you create this high definition, you should first create a low fidelity. So that's what we call high fidelity and low fidelity. So you have for the UI designers, you have low fidelity, then you have what? High fidelity. So this is just like high resolution. Then this is like low resolution. The low definition will just be black and white. Right? And all those places where you have images, you can just put circle and whatever. Then once that is approved, then you can now start having color. You can start having images. You can start having whatever. So you could check that out by just saying low fidelity, low fidelity, low fidelity wireframe. Restaurant web app. Right? So this is Figma. This is Behance. This is Dribble. This is Miro. There's several of them. So to give you the right appreciation of what your project should look like. Okay, while that is loading, for the software developers, this is the time they now start learning PHP or Python or Java or whatever. So if it's in that case, I could just say, okay, can we have a Bootstrap-based PHP, MySQL, code base for the application? So the guy will just pull out everything for me. So, but before we start coding this software, there are some basics we need to understand. So that's what the web programmers are going to learn this week. Learn basic PHP, learn what is a table, what is a database, what's all of those stuff. Then for the UI designers, we want to be creating the screens. Let us see what the screens looks like. Then from next week, we're not going to merge everything. Then we'll now create everything. Within 2 weeks, we can host everything and have everything go live. Right? So we started creating it already. So software developers might not understand this in full, right? Because you've not learned what PHP is, what MySQL is, how to code, how to interpret. Because it's still going to be doing some kind of trash for you. You should be able to do or say, I don't like this, do it like this. This doesn't make no, this is not English language. So do it like this. I don't like what is happening here. Can we have this? Can we have? So you must speak the language you're able to tell it to do what you want it to do. Once you can do that, then you can create a very, very perfect software in just 2-3 hours. You're done. Yes. So who have questions, please? I have how many students? I have Felix, I have Francis, I have Paul, I have Bridget, I have Abubakar. I have 2 students with me here physically. So who have questions before? Look, something. So after this record, I'm going to be dropping an assignment. Then we can now proceed, maybe on Friday or so. Once we are done with this assignment, we will proceed. But I will drop your tax. I will drop the tax for before our next class this week. No, it's not plugged. The end. Question, please. Question, please.